Hey guys, welcome back to my sewing room. My name is Amanda. If you haven't been here before, if you have, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be doing a very simple beginner-friendly sewing tutorial. I'll be showing you guys how to make a rectangle skirt. But you guys know me, I couldn't just do a plain rectangle skirt. I had to make it 2 layers and put some lace on it, right? Now it's Amanda's skirt. So in today's tutorial, I'll be showing you guys how to make a 2-layer rectangle skirt. And to be honest, next time I make it, this is it. Next time I make it, I probably will make it out of a matte satin or maybe a crepe or maybe even a taffeta. That'll be gorgeous. This stretch satin that I used kind of wasn't suitable for the job. It was very thick and it kind of lends itself to look a little bit inexpensive, so I wouldn't recommend using this, but I had a ton of it in my stash, so I decided to go ahead and use it up for this video, for the purposes of the video. If you guys haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Also turn on notifications if you guys want to be alerted every time I post a new video. Also, if you guys are interested in learning how I draft all of my patterns, as well as getting behind the scenes footage on client fittings, custom pattern making for clients, as well as me working on my clients' dresses, make sure to hit the join button down below to join the Mom That Sews membership. All right, let's get to it. All right, so the supplies that we need are actually very few. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble our bottom portion of the skirt. I have it here. I'm going to go ahead and place them right sides together. Remember, we have 2 here, so we're placing them right sides together. And then I'm going to take them over to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew them with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now, this fabric is fraying like it just does not want to live. So after I sew it, I'm going to go ahead and take it over to my serger and I'm going to serge the seams closed. I like to serge closed. You can serge them individually. I just feel like that wastes my thread, y'all. I'm serging it closed. I serge everything closed. After that, I'm going to go ahead and run a serging stitch around the whole top and the whole bottom of this piece too, just so it doesn't fray away on me when I'm working with it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well as click the notification bell so you guys can be notified every time I upload. So this is what it looks like after I finish serging and pressing the entire piece. It took me literally like 25 minutes to press this, y'all. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the hem. So you could do the hem 1 or 2 ways. I'm going to just fold it up 1 time and do a top stitch, a neat top stitch all the way around. You can also fold it twice, so roll it twice, and then you can do a hand stitch to finish it that way too. That's the more couture finish. And if I had more time, I would probably do it that way, but I'm going to top stitch it for now. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to our top portion of the skirt. The first thing we want to do is plan out for our zipper. I like my zipper to stop around my a little bit lower than my hip line, so I decided to go ahead and measure down 10 inches from the top, and I'm going to place a pin here. We're going to go ahead and insert our zipper in my way. I call it the 3-step method. Step 1, base. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know that I've worked with them quite a bit this year. very grateful for that. And I absolutely have fell in love with their platform. If you guys aren't familiar, Skillshare is an online learning community that's geared towards creatives and creative people. They have classes on a plethora of topics, including sewing, y'all. I'm trying to get out of the custom deal with my wedding dresses and wanting to go more towards ready to wear, ready to ship now kind of things with my new collections. So I searched sewing here on Skillshare and I found the class that was absolutely perfect. The class is called Sewing for Selling, Small Batch Production for Home-Based Business. Like nail right on the head, right? Perfect. So I watched, I checked it out, and it is absolutely just so much information. If you guys are interested in sewing for ready to wear, which I follow quite a bit of you guys on Instagram, so I see that you are, this will be a great class to gift yourself for the holidays, okay? Make sure you go ahead and check Skillshare out. They are giving a free trial to my subscribers who click the link below in the description box. I think this will be a perfect gift for maybe your secret Santas. I know a lot of mentorships and sewing groups are doing like secret Santas right now for the holidays. So this would be a perfect gift to give someone. Also, I think it is a perfect gift to give yourself, really, for the holidays, because there is way more than just sewing on Skillshare. Make sure to check Skillshare out. A big thank you for Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and I'll get back to it. So what we're going to do is we're basting closed the top portion where the zipper is going to be. Once we get to the point where the zipper is going to stop, I'm going to go ahead and turn my stitch length back down to 2.5. I'm going to back stitch and then do a regular stitch all the way down to the bottom. Okay, that's how I like to do my first step of my zipper. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this over to my serger, and I'm going to serge everything. Now for the center back, I am going to serge it individually because we have to insert our zipper. And then I'm also going to serge the top and the bottom of this piece as well to keep everything nice and clean. Once again, I'm going to take it over to the ironing table and I'm going to press it. I'm also going to press my center back seam open. Now we're on to step 2 of inserting the zipper. Step 2 is basting the zipper into the seam, okay? Now I'm going to baste my zipper into the center back part that I pressed open. I'm going to leave my zipper pull a little bit high so it's not in my way, and I'm going to pin on both sides of just the seam allowance, okay? If you guys know me, you know I like to batch sew, so instead of just taking this over to the sewing machine now, I'm going to go ahead and pin my zipper up and out of the way, and I'm going to pin all of my pleats onto the skirt while we're here, okay? Because I don't feel like moving my camera back and forth, let's be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and mark all of my centers here on my big rectangle piece, and then I'm also going to mark my side seams and the center front on my smaller rectangle piece. Then I'm going to match all of those up. Now, I like to pleat by eye. I'm sorry, guys. You could go on Google and find like a whole calculator for measuring pleats and all this and all that. I'm not doing that, y'all. I use my nail. So crazy, right? I use my nail to determine how wide I want my pleats. I think I ended up going an inch forward, then folding it an inch back, and then coming back another inch forward. So a total of 3 inches that is encompassed in each pleat, and it ended up working. I'm surprised. I usually have to rework it, but it ended up working this time. So if you're doing the same measurements as me, this should work for you perfectly as well. So pretty much I'm going 1 inch forward, boom, with my nail, putting 1 inch back, and then 1 inch forward, and pinning that pleat, and then doing it again, over and over and over again until I get to the end. And this is what it looks like at the end. And I'm going to go ahead and sew this. I'm sorry, I'm going to baste it. Let's be technical. I'm going to baste it on here with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now, when I'm sewing, I like to have my pleats downwards, and I like to have them going through my feed dogs in the way that lays them down. I don't want them to be competing with my feed dogs. So make sure you pay attention to that. And I also sometimes put my hand on the inside of the skirt to make sure that my pleats are laying flat, because pleats do like to go all wonky on you when you sew them into a seam. Okay, so make sure that you're really taking this slow and making sure that none of your pleats are going crazy on you. I'm actually not going to serge this because remember we serged the top and the bottom of each, so we should be good. Okay. And after I finish basting this, then I'm going to go ahead and finish off my zipper. I'm switching off to a zipper foot, and I'm going to go ahead and baste on both sides of my zipper. And then after I do that, I don't know where the finish went. After I do that, I usually open up the basting that we did, make sure my zipper works, and then I sew my final stitch really close to the zipper teeth, and that's how I insert my zipper. Never fails, y'all. Before, I used to be so horrible at inserting zippers, and then you know what I did? I read the back of the zipper instructions, and then I do it exactly how they do it, and it works out absolutely perfectly. So make sure that you're following these steps, and you shouldn't have any issue. After I do that, now it's time to go ahead and press again. So I pressed my seam allowance down towards the bottom ruffle portion. Okay, you don't want to press it open or up or anything like that. I want to press it down so that the bulk of the seam allowance is towards the ruffle portion. Okay guys, see, this skirt comes together super easy. We're literally almost done. The next step is to put our whole skirt now onto our waistband. And I started looking at this like, wait, no, that's not right. Right. So we want to open out our zipper tape, and then we're putting the right side of the outside, which is the outside is the part that I didn't put my my label on. Obviously for you, it would just be either side. It doesn't really matter. You want to put it right sides together with our skirt, and then you want to go ahead and match the center seams again. Remember, I marked the centers on the tops here, and I've also marked my centers on my waistband too, so we can just match it up easily. And then once again, I'm pleating by eye. Now the pleats here are a lot less dense. I cannot remember for the life of me how I did this, but you just want to pleat it so that it fits down onto your actual waistband. Then after that, you want to go ahead and sew this with the 1/2 inch seam allowance, okay? after you sew it, then you want to press your seam allowance upwards into the waistband. Okay, so you want to press it upwards, not downwards this time. We're pressing it upwards into the waistband. And then you want to press down 1/2 inch of the waistband, of the flappy part of the waistband that's not attached. You want to press that down 1/2 inch so you can fold it over neatly like this. And encompass all of those raw edges up into that waistband, so it looks super clean on the inside. Now, I totally forgot, y'all, to put in my hanging loops until I pinned it all, then I had to unpin it. And then I still pinned one of my hanging loops to the center. Why y'all didn't tell me I was pinning it in the center? Just crazy. But I left this in because I want to show you guys that, like I said, I make mistakes all of the time. It's ridiculous, but I do all the time. So I just left it there, y'all. This is just a sample for y'all, but make sure that your hanging loops are at both of your side seam marks. And then you want to just pin it all the way around. Now you can finish this off a few different ways. You could take it to your machine and you can stitch in the ditch. I cannot stitch in the ditch to save my life. You could also thread you up a thread. That sounds so crazy. You can thread a needle and wax that needle. And then you could do a slip stitch to finish this off. If this was actual dress, this is what I would be doing. Or you could do it like how I did and take it to your sewing machine and just top stitch a whole rectangle all the way around your waistband. So down the side, over the bottom, up the side, and over the top. I did that, and I put my stitch length at 4 millimeters, I think. Remember, if you're doing top stitching that your bride can see, you always want to elongate that top stitch to make sure that it looks nice and clean. So this is what the final product looks like. I don't hate it, but I also don't like it. But I also think that this same method could be used in tulle. Could you imagine if this was used in like maybe 3 or 4 layers of tulle? This would be gorgeous. Thank you guys so much for watching. I also want to give a big shout out to the members of this channel as well as my lovely patrons. The names are as follows: Alexis Thompson, Hillary Robinson, Charlene West, Corey B. Style, Ira Stones, Larna WB, Julie Crowell, Hannah Smoltz, Nakira Bullock, and Sharice Anderson. I really appreciate you guys so much. You guys have funded my December series here on this channel, so I really, really, really appreciate you guys. Special shout out to Hector Rodriguez for having the comment of the day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.